Hi, it's me, Amy. Today's video, I wanted to talk about the topic of being an introvert because being introverted in a very extroverted world can be pretty hard sometimes. This is my emotional support stuffed animal plushie. Let's just start off by talking about being an introvert growing up. I feel like I'm in therapy. I've always disliked being this way growing up. If you're on the shy or the quiet end, I felt like people would always immediately label you as that. And I can't tell you how many times people would ask me why I am that way. You know, that famous question, oh, why are you so quiet? Why are you so shy? Or whatever. And then they would just think of you that way forever. Because I guess that's the way that impression comes off. I always disliked that growing up because I feel like there was very negative connotation behind those kind of words. That kind of question or label isn't there as a compliment. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how it ever came across, because I'd always get compared to people who are more extroverted or who are more chatty and talkative. They'll be like, why can't you be like so and so? And so because of that, that's how it comes off in a negative way, and that's why I didn't like being like this growing up. And I'd always wish, like, why can't I be more chatty or talkative or loud, whatever it is that other people want. Don't get me wrong, I think it's great to be talkative, you know, and obviously know how to talk to people. It's a very important skill, and I wish I had the ability to be able to think more on the spot or be witty or just like carry the conversation easily. And I hated being labeled as just a shy or quiet kid. It's impacted even me to this day. That's the only way that people could remember or recognize me, which kind of sucks. You want to make a better, you know, first impression or lasting memory of yourself other than, oh, she's just that quiet person. I can be chatty with the right people. There was a disconnect between how people would label me or remember me versus how I really am. And I feel like that's something maybe a lot of introverted or more quiet people struggle with. The way other people remember you versus who you really are doesn't really match. That just goes all the way back to why I hated the question, why are you so quiet? Growing up, I heard that so many times, even now still. Like, if someone says, why are you so quiet? What if you reverse the question and you say, why are you so loud? How does that feel? I mean, no one really says that because it's not as natural as asking someone, why are you so quiet? But it should be, because it's the exact same thing. You're just reversing the question back to them. And so if we normalize that, maybe people will stop asking other people why they're so quiet, because it's not a good feeling when someone asks you that. So yeah, I think it's completely fine to be one of the more quiet ones in the room and to not want to just take up that much space by talking all the time. I think that's fine, but growing up, it didn't feel fine. Now I think that I'm older, I can find that there's other people who are like me too and who kind of experience the same thing growing up. It makes me feel a little bit less alone, and that's why I wanted to just talk about it. And okay, so some things that I dislike about being more introverted and quiet. Again, I know that they're not like exactly the same things, but I'm just saying that I'm both. Really disliked that I felt as things are kind of a little bit easier for people who are more talkative. If you know how to talk to people, of course, that's a really good skill to have. Very extroverted world that we live in. It felt like there's a lot more opportunity for people who are more outgoing and sociable, especially if you thrive off of social situations. Network with people a little bit more easier because you can fit into this extroverted world that we have. So that's something that I dislike about being this way. Okay, so how has it impacted my social life and my present life? It goes without saying that this impacts a huge chunk of my social life. I think it was a lot easier to make friends when we were younger because of school and the environments that we're in. Even if you were more on the quiet side, that didn't necessarily mean you didn't have a lot of friends. Now it's a lot more difficult as an adult. Some of it is also luck. If you were lucky to be surrounded by good people who stay your friends or who can connect you to more friends, like, that is largely due to luck as well. Without all of that, or without the right environment or a solid foundation, it is also harder to make friends as an adult. Now you throw in being quiet and introverted into the mix, and I've found it to be almost nearly impossible. So that's why it has impacted my social life to a huge extent. And as much as I love working from home, done wonders for me in terms of my introverted self and being by myself, like, that's good, but that's also bad because it doesn't force you to be out there and to meet new people in a more organic way. Yeah, so it's just a lot harder to connect with people as an adult and working from home. So depending on all those different factors and your personality, it's just been difficult. That sort of leaked into my, I guess, work life, a big part of work, it is about networking, connecting with other people and building those relationships. And if you, or let's say I, struggle a lot with doing that, if I did, I think it would be a lot harder to kind of, I don't want to say succeed in the corporate world or in the working world, but it does impact it a lot. That isn't to put anyone down or anything, but I think that's just what I've noticed. It's really hard to be something that you're not. A lot of this video / rant has been kind of negative, so I'm gonna try to switch it and end it on a very more positive note. What do I not mind about being introverted? We should celebrate being the quiet people and the introverted people. Like, the world needs us as well, you know? One thing that I do like about being introverted, that for the most part, generally speaking, or at least I hope so, I think that we are good at listening. Now, even to strangers or to anybody I meet, I feel like I'm good at listening to them. I love just being there and taking it all in and absorbing it and listening. I know I have to get better at taking it and then giving something back. That's something that I have to improve on, but I know that I am good at listening, and I will always be there to listen to a friend or to a stranger or to anybody who just wants to rant or talk. So I would say that that is a positive, or at least I hope it is. I think that that also makes us very observant people. Like, I think we're observers by nature. Maybe that's why I can sit down and people watch for a very long time, is because I like it. I like to just take it all in and absorb and observe just the world around me. I can do it quietly, and I've already felt like I'm getting energy from that quietness, if that makes any sense. Yeah, that's not a bad thing. Another thing is that, again, for the most part, I think we're very independent people. That's not to say like I don't want close relationships, or I don't sometimes rely on those close relationships for support. That's not to say that at all. But for the most part, I do see myself as a very independent character. I can take myself out to a date or to a walk by the water and I would think, I don't know, like I'm having a good time. I'm a person who seeks peace, and you can find a lot of peace by being by yourself, or at least learn how to be happy alone. And I think that to an extent I've definitely reached that, and that's something that I've improved over the years. And the last thing that I can think of right now, we really seek deep and meaningful connections with other people. I was never one for any more surface level kind of relationships or anything like that. And again, this is not putting down anyone who isn't the same way or whatever. Really seek deep connections with other people. I hate small talk. It makes me so uncomfortable. I hate forced conversations. Just the beginning stages of even getting to know people makes me uncomfortable, because I just want to dive right in and really get to know people and just who they are as a person. Those are the kind of connections that I seek, ones that make me feel more fulfilled, something that I hope a lot of introverts want. So because of that, I think it's a positive to want those deep connections. Not saying it's a negative to not want those deep connections either, but yeah, that's it. I can't really think of anything else I want to talk about. It's an important topic to me, and I kind of miss just talking to the camera. It's so low-key, low maintenance, and it feels really genuine and raw, and I hope that it comes out that way. Thank you so much for watching. I feel like there might have been a lot that I'm missing out on talking about, which is fine. You know, these kind of topics are very deep and there's a lot to it. I hope it wasn't offensive or anything. That's not my intention at all. I would love to hear more about your experience with being an introvert, being quiet, growing up, or how that's impacted you. It's always nice to know that you're not alone. That's kind of my main goal in this. All right, so enough of me talking and rambling. I'm gonna get up from the floor now. If you watched the video, I really appreciate you. Okay, thank you.